So this one's not going to be a long one by any means, especially since I got a much longer one cooking really soon on top, so expect another Mario Kart video in like a couple hours. This one though, we'll keep it shorter and sweeter. Nintendo Direct, Wave 6 of the BCP last week. Of course they'd show one track, a general release window for holiday, and dip without any further elaboration. They did this with Wave 3, 4, and 5, this weird small tease for the rest of the tracks of the wave, and they wait like a month or two to actually drop the full details. Daisy Circuit for Mario Kart Wii is making a comeback, which a lot of people did not expect, based on the data mine or even just what we have in tour right now. But we're talking the characters specifically for this one. Diddy Kong and Funky Kong are making their comeback. Diddy Kong's back on a console Mario Kart since Wii, 15 years since, and Funky Kong's doing the exact same on a console Mario Kart. Both beloved and great picks for characters. Now Mario Kart 8 has every character from Mario Kart Wii. That's extremely cool if you ask me. But we're also getting Pauline and Peachette alongside those two. Pauline is super hype and Funky is super hype. But the primary thing about those four being announced is that the character select screen showed, including Birdo's slot, 6 characters were planned to be added total. We thought after Wave 5 it would only be 2 more characters. A lot of us were only expecting 2 final characters. But no, Nintendo went, yeah, let's just go and double that. Like, whoa, back up for a second. You sneaky little bastards. Throwing a complete curveball like this, and even on something like characters, like that's kind of a big deal. So I'm taking it a step further and doubling down on an idea I had the last time I discussed and predicted characters for this DLC. And there weren't a lot of comments like this. There were a handful between Twitter and YouTube. It was not a lot in the grand scheme. But some thought I wasn't taking my schizo pills when I said there's a very viable and solid chance 6 characters might not be all we get. We might get even as far as 12. And a handful thought I was raising hopes a little too high. Let me take a dozen seconds to be petty right now and say, I told you so. I told all of you. There was just as much odds of us getting more than 6, even 12, as there was just sticking to 6 newcomers. And thus far, we have 8 total. And I genuinely think they have even more waiting in the wake. Now, as always, I could very well be wrong. I could be stretching it regardless. But between Mario Kart Tour's final new tour just started and no more new content's coming to the game by early October, meaning no more new characters, carts, gliders, and courses, this is the final wave. And Nintendo's been pretty liberal as far as the number of characters left, especially up to now. Who's to say they're not hiding more? Especially because while 50 total is a very even number, that throws the character select screen symmetry out of whack entirely the way it is. And I know adding a spare row is easier than just reconstructing the character select in its entirety. And if none of this happens, I'm just hyped we got both Funky Kong back and Pauline in the game. Those two alone make the wave for me. But I'm sitting here thinking it was probably 12 all along. We might get 4 more characters, and as far as like wholly new characters, I'm not counting Captain Toad and Toadette, any of the costume slots. Captain Toad and Captain Toadette in particular, you could easily argue is just simple clothes swaps over regular Toad and Toadette. So there are 2 characters that might raise some eyebrows on this list for what I think are candidates. But as far as new characters left in tour that aren't in 8, we have Dixie Kong, Nabbit, King Bob-omb, Charge and Chuck, Monty Mole, Hammer Bro, Fire Bro, Boomerang, Ice Bro, Poochie, SNES Mario, and SNES Donkey Kong Jr. That's 8 or 12 new/newish characters that aren't in 8, and what I believe are potential candidates for proper new characters. Initially, I'm thinking 4 of them are selectable, right? And as far as Hammer, Fire, Boomerang, and Ice Bro, all of us feel they'd relegate to a single slot altogether. So what characters am I feeling? What do I think are the 4 other characters Nintendo's hiding? I honestly think Nintendo's opting to bank off Diddy and Funky for spare Kongs, so as much as I like the opposite, I'm doubtful for Dixie Kong. Nabbit and King Bob-omb, on the other hand, I would bet money on those 2 that they're going to be in. Nabbit's synonymous with 2D Mario. He apparently has a fan base. At the very least, Nintendo seems to like him. He's in Mario U, the upcoming Mario Wonder. They could coincide him here with that game. I think Nabbit's a pretty safe bet, and King Bob-omb's on the same tier as awesome Mario boss like King Boo and Petey. Maybe even higher just because he's not playable in like anything most of the time. Golf Super Rush broke that trend, but like, is anyone caring about Mario Golf Super Rush these days? Actually, speaking of, you know, most of the DLC we have right now, and even the ones that could be DLC later on, if we get more characters. You know, all of them, or most of them, are villains, and King Bob-omb in Mario Kart 8 would leave a grander impact alongside just the simple fact he's a great character for Mario Kart to have as playable. So these two I think are shoo-ins. Charge and Chuck's essentially the same wavelength as Nabbit and King Bob-omb, I feel. They're iconic with a couple Mario games here and there as normal Mario enemy fare, Mario World, Mario 3D World. They're not an enemy we see that often, but they are an enemy I think people put on the same wavelength as more or less, maybe a little more than the Hammer Bros. People would be hyped for Charge and Chuck. And because I just mentioned them, why not? Similar with Hammer Bros. The Bros as one slot, I think no one would really object. They're an iconic Mario group of foes, for better or worse. They deserve a slot together in Mario Kart 8. Monty Mole, it's another Mario enemy we could use to fill the slot, but I'm not gonna lie, I feel like most people kinda don't give a rat's ass about Monty Mole. Even like Goombas, Koopas, Piranha Plants, they have some level of a fan base or iconography for being the basic Mario enemies we know. Monty Mole is always like secondary. It'd be kind of cool. I feel like most people, even Nintendo, they'd probably be the least hype for Monty Mole as a DLC character in Mario Kart, even if we somehow got a Goomba instead. Poochie would be awesome, since he's more Yoshi's Island representation. We already have Kamek and a track based on the game. We could always use more. It feels like we should have gotten him in Wave 4 though, but better late than never is something I fully believe most fans would be on board with. And lastly, SNES Mario and DK Jr. They have completely different animations and sounds compared to normal Mario and Donkey Kong, like they were ripped out of Super Mario Kart. And that's why I'm giving them a little extra limelight. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say right now, I think more people would be more hyped for these two more than Peachette. Come on. Tell me, let's be real. Right now, tell me right now whether or not these two would be better picks than Peachette. And we got Peachette anyways. I'm half doubtful, but Nintendo would 1000% throw us a curveball and be like, here's like these two really good characters. Here's SNES Mario and Donkey Kong. Goodbye. But I could take this opportunity a step further. 50-50 on whether this is the case. But now that Tour is done with new content, it's basically gonna die in like a year, 2 years max. So what if Nintendo just went full preservation mode and said, no, we're not wasting any of the new characters we put in Tour. Let's bring them all in. Like, this one I'm decently more doubtful on. I think everyone else is too, at least you guys watching. But I can't say it's completely unreasonable. You ripped 4 characters from the list I got or went even more liberal and put the Hammer Brothers family in different slots. You got enough room for a whole extra row. And even beyond the list I got, who's to say they won't care to toss as a complete unexpected new wild card Rob, Captain Falcon, Spike from Wrecking Crew of the Mario movie, Cappy, a regular Boo or something. Or they could give a costume slot or two new character treatment, like Captain Toad, Captain Toadette, Pit Crew Toad, or Ice Mario or whatever. They get their own slots. We don't know. They very well could if they ever wanted to. If I had to bet on 4 new characters specifically, after Diddy, Funky, Pauline, and Peachette, I'd place solid bets on Nabbit, Charge and Chuck, the Hammer Brothers family in one slot, and King Bob-omb as the final character to round it out. I think most people wouldn't object to this order, and 1 or 2 or all of these characters could very well be completely off the mark and omitted with the others or someone else. Very possible. But this is the selection I'm feeling. But if they went even more liberal with the Hammer Bros lineup and added 10 instead of 4, it'd be those 7 plus Dixie Kong, Poochie, and Monty Mole. I think that's best case scenario for the fans in particular. But that'd feel incredibly wild and out of nowhere. Could swap 2 of those last 3 or others with the 2 SNES variants. I think for the 4 characters though, you got my summation, and the summation for if we got even more beyond that, because you never know. But I think it's mainly just 4 characters. Let me know your thoughts down in those comments. Thank you very much for watching, and be on the lookout for more Mario Kart, Mario RPG-esque, and just more Mario videos I got cooking. Stay super.
哟，嘿，妹妹，嘿，过来呀！哦，够了，哈哈哈呀！拉面，嘿，来面，买个面，共舞，再见呀！哈哈，拉面，上手面，谢谢。